The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Blow up the neon light. Jimbo and Kyle take flight. 80s dreams are its delight. In the realm of black and white, movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
Mommy's going to the beauty parlor, darling. But I'm leaving you with your favorite friend, Roger. He's going to take very, very good care of you. Because if he doesn't, he's going back to the science lab.
What the hell was wrong with that take? Nothing with you, baby Herman. You were great. You were perfect. You were better than perfect. This Roger, he keeps blowing his lines. Roger, what's this? A tweeting bird. Tweeting bird. Roger, read the script. Look what it says. It says rabbit gets clunked. Rabbit sees stars. Not birds. Stars. Can we lose the playback, please? You're killing me. Killing me. For crying out loud, Roger. How many times do we have to do this damn scene? Raoul, I'll be in my trailer. Taking a nap! Excuse me,
Please, Raoul, I can give you stars. Just drop the refrigerator in my head one more time.
Roger, I got on your head 23 times already.
I can take it. Don't worry about me.
I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the refrigerator.
This is the tale of an up-and-coming movie star named Roger Rabbit and a down-and-out private detective named Eddie Valiant.
Ooga booga.
Every moment they were together was a new adventure in trouble.
Hide me, Eddie. Please.
It's a motion picture about friendship,
Take it easy, will ya? Please, Eddie. Don't tell me out. You're making a big mistake.
love, compassion,
All right, I'm sorry I yanked your ears.
All the time you yanked my ears?
murder,
Marvin Acme. The rabbit cacked him last night.
Remember, you never saw me.
sex,
I'd do anything for my husband, Mr. Valiant. Anything.
and violence.
Toons gets him every time.
You wouldn't have any idea where the rabbit might be?
Got a thing for rabbits, huh?
The whole thing stinks like yesterday's diapers.
It's a comedy a little different from all the rest.
I'm a pig!
I'm a toon.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
Touchstone Pictures and Steven Spielberg present a Robert Zemeckis film.
We toons may act idiotic, but we're not stupid.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I am your host, Jimbo, and tonight I am joined by a very special guest co-host.
Dustin.
He's a little slow, so we have Dustin joining us in the man cave here tonight. I met Dustin at several of the live shows that we have covered with Hillbilly Horror Stories, most notably probably the one at the brewery.
Boone County Jail and
Distillery, yes. So we started talking, and we got some things coming up that we'll reveal at a later time. But he asked if he could come on and be a special guest for one of his favorite movies of all time, which was
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? So, Dustin, in spectacular fashion, before we get started, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Dustin, in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who is your favorite cartoon character? And then who is your favorite cartoon character of all time?
Favorite of all time. Man, you're going to put me on the spot. I never knew where you're going to go with the question.
This is what I always do to Kyle, and he says the same thing.
I'd be a pervert if I said Jessica Rabbit. But the Weasels are usually pretty funny. I like them.
And in the movie?
Yeah, in the movie. And then favorite cartoon character of all time.
I know it's going to be something so odd and
probably
off the wall.
Bart Simpson.
Oh, okay.
You know, growing up watching The Simpsons your whole life, that's probably a fair answer.
Do you have a classical cartoon character you like better? Like, let's say, Wile E. Coyote, Yosemite Sam, Woody Woodpecker, Chili Willy, any of those?
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
There you go. Boris and Natasha. I like it. So I told Dustin that he gets to take over for Kyle today, and he gets to do all the technical stuff. So this being Dustin's first podcast adventure.
Technically the second. I was on a call-in one time. So
well, we won't talk about last week's podcast adventure we tried to do. So Dustin, go ahead and take away Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So Who Framed Roger Rabbit was released June 22nd, 1988. And as far as I can tell, it was the only movie that debuted that week. The movie is an adaptation from the 1981 novel Who Censored Roger Rabbit. Which
have you ever read it?
It's on my bookshelf.
Is it really?
I've never read it, but it's on my bookshelf.
Because it don't have pictures?
Yeah, it's a little tough. ADD's kind of a pain to read with.
Did it cost you a lot of money for it, or is it?
It was free from my aunt, so...
Oh, that's the perfect price.
If you want to read it, I'll bring it next week. It's probably...
How long is it?
It's a good-sized book.
Wow.
It's kind of a darker novel from everything I've gathered. It's not exactly the same. Yeah, it's totally like polar opposites of what the movie tends to be. So getting into the technical aspects of everything, the screenplay was written by Jeffrey Price and Peter S. Seaman, directed by Robert Zemeckis. I haven't even got...
Do you know what he's famous for?
I didn't go into detail on the...
Well, a little movie called Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
He's done a couple other ones, too.
I was thinking there was a Forrest Gump tie-in somewhere with somebody on the technical side, but I could be incorrect. See, I didn't do my due diligence. So now he's already making me look bad, episode 1. So
hey, you're already doing it better than Kyle. At least you brought your own notes.
Did this at work yesterday. Executive producer was Steven Spielberg, which ends up being a pretty big deal for the time. The film was edited by Arthur Schmidt. Cinematography by Dean Cundy. Composed by Alan Silvestri, I believe is how they pronounce that. And performed by the London Symphony Orchestra. The film had a budget of $50.6 million, but ended up costing around $70 million. With inflation, that comes under just $194.5 million in today's money. Super expensive movie.
Well, I do believe in my notes it says it's like the most expensive movie ever made.
At the time.
I think even up to 2024. I'll have to look and see.
Yeah, I didn't get that far in the weeds, but I know it was a very expensive movie, and I've got some notes later that we may cover about some of the cost. With inflation, like I said, it was $195 million almost. That's absolutely crazy. It would only open in 1,045 theaters and would gross $11.2 million opening week. The total domestic box office sales would be $197.3 million, which is $415 million today. Internationally, it was a little bit better, $197.3 million. Man, I copied and pasted the wrong notes.
Yeah, because I think we said it was $330 million when we looked it up.
Yeah, it was... I don't have the exact number, but it was a higher gross in the foreign market because overall it ended up being...
the worldwide total?
Yeah, worldwide total was $351 million, and with inflation, you know what I mean, it was...
Buku.
It was crazy. It did gross in today's money in the international market $531 million, which I did get that part correct.
So that's $500 million.
Yeah.
So it made some bank.
I got some billions in here, so the total take after you go from that $351 million combined, inflation $945.5 million. To me, that's close to $1 billion. So this is a pretty successful.
Don't you wish your paychecks were the same way? Well, it's
just
close
one.
to.
I'll take one.
It's close to this.
It's close enough. It's like my wife. How much is it?
Maybe you can talk to your employer and be like, "Hey, can you just round my checks up each week?" And they'll be like, "No, we'll round them down for you."
The wife's
That's
like,
close enough, right?
It's only $20. I'm like, well, how much is it? $29.99. That's not $20. That's $19.99.
It's close.
So it's all in perspective. So in 1988, this was the most expensive movie ever made, and would end up being the 20th highest grossing movie of that time. It was the second highest grossing movie of 1988 behind the movie Rain Man. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of that one. So a little bit more technical information. This cinematic masterpiece was filmed using the Panavision Panaflex Gold and the Panaflex Platinum cameras with ultra-speed MK2 lenses. Did my research.
I'm just saying, the way that they filmed this had to be... We'll talk about it in my notes a little bit, but it was just so incredible what all they had to go through to get these...
No CGI.
No.
All cell work. Yep. It's just absolutely bonkers.
No like matte paintings in the background either.
No, it was all... It was filmed basically twice, and then they had to go back and lay over what they wanted to do. You had to film it a certain way. You're acting with nobody there. Sometimes you'll have some props in there, but it's just... If you get a chance, definitely find the special features of this movie and dive into how they made it. It's absolutely fascinating. So then for the animation shots, they used the VistaVision Flex with Nikon lenses and a Nielsen Herald, I know the word, but I didn't type it right. Animation stand for the animated shots. Post-production would take 14 months. The film time is an hour and 44 minutes. And it looks like it was a total of 3,555 meters of film, and I'm guessing they cut that down to around 2,844. It's a lot of money in film. Negative format was 35 millimeter, aspect ratio of 1.85 by 1, and the sound mix was Dolby Digital 76 Trek. So that's the technical.
Wow, I'm pretty proud of you.
I listened to a few. Like I tried to be prepared. I don't want to be laughed out of the place.
Okay, before you dive into your awards, why don't you give the synopsis of the movie, if you will, without looking it up? I want the Dustin version.
You don't want the Dustin version. My brain is a scary place, and without any guidance, it's a very scary place. So he actually
had it printed off.
So thank you to whoever I stole this from on Wikipedia. It's a 1940s, Los Angeles is when it's based, in a world where humans and cartoons coexist.
How awesome is that?
It's one bad acid trip, ain't it? A famous toon known as Roger Rabbit has the easy life until he discovers his wife, Jessica Rabbit, is having fun playing patty cake with the head of maroon cartoons. Roger turns to a down in the dumps kind of alcoholic private investigator, Eddie Valiant, who has a vendetta for toons. His brother ended up being murdered by a toon.
Well, did he drop a piano or a safe on his head?
They dropped a piano, I believe. Now you're making me question myself again. With Roger's help against his own will, to escape from an uncompromising Judge Doom and even try to help clear Roger's name. So he's going to go from hating toons to kind of, getting back to where he can coexist with them and maybe even like them. In order to do this, they must travel all over L.A. and even into Toontown. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. If you've not watched it, I don't want to ruin it. There's just so many good parts, and it stands up to today's time. It's still fun to watch, and it's good quality. It's not grainy. It's not bad. It's not perfect on the animation, but they were using outdated technology to pay homage to the golden age.
And I tell you what, one of my favorite parts of this movie is when Roger handcuffs himself to Eddie. Eddie's trying to get it off. And he's like, will you hold still? And Roger takes his hand out.
Why didn't you do that before? I can only do it when it's funny. And then slips right back into it. So, like I said, it's a funny movie. Kind of a little bit adult. You kind of catch on some...
later,
some innuendo that you may not
I think
catch
there's
as a
even
kid.
like a Viagra comment.
I have to go back and like multitasking, so like that's ADD again. I can't sit and do one thing without doing another thing. So Eddie Valiant was originally, fun fact, they were looking to have Eddie Murphy play Eddie Valiant.
I have a bunch of people that were going to play Eddie Murphy in my notes, and when we get there, we'll see if you think they could have fit the part.
That's the thing is with the tie with Bob Hoskins being from London, and it was a big international movie. Would that have done better with a red hot Eddie Murphy? He was on that climb.
Maybe in America.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made what it
internationally?
did internationally.
No.
But it would have been very interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like Back to the Future. You film the whole movie, and then you change
The main character.
main character and have to refilm it. That's just the whole thing would be totally different, but possibly for the best, like Back to the Future. So Eddie Valiant was played by Bob Hoskins, who's also known from playing in the movie Hook.
And also Mario.
Yes, I did have Mario on the list, but I was like, I don't know if we want to do two or just one. But
whatever you want. Well, if I see him and I know from something, we're going to say it.
He also played alongside Dustin Hoffman in that movie, which
Hook's a great movie.
Yeah, which was also the big movie in 1988. Christopher Lloyd played Judge Doom. He's best known for Back to the Future.
Uncle Fester.
So many. He's got so many good roles.
Oh, so many.
And then he also played alongside Michael J. Fox, and
Right.
Definitely a great actor there. Jonah Cassidy as Dolores, which was Eddie's girlfriend, was in the movie Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. Charles Fleischer, who voiced Roger Rabbit, Benny the Cab, Greasy Psycho, was also the narrator in Shrek 2. Alvin Tilvern was R.K. Maroon. Didn't really go into his stuff. Kathleen Turner would voice Roger Rabbit. Didn't really dive into too much. Jessica, sorry.
Not Roger. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm so excited.
But she was uncredited because only the lady that sung the voice, because it was a different actress that sung the voice.
I thought about going there, but it was one of those I don't want to confuse people. So you're expecting my research to actually be effective.
You're doing a fine job. Outstanding.
So this movie was highly, highly successful. It had 24 wins and 22 nominations. Some of the highlights of that was it did win 4 Academy Awards, which was the most for a Disney movie since Mary Poppins in 1965.
I love the Mary Poppins, too.
It was a good movie. Probably need to watch it as an adult versus a kid.
I loved Mary Poppins.
You pick up more as an
She
adult.
was my childhood crush.
I'm over here crushing on Daisy Duke and Jessica Rabbit, and you're on Mary Poppins, but to each their own.
A little bit of age gap here, but
they did win basically Oscars for film editing, sound effects editing, visual effects, and they got a Special Achievement Award for animation direction. They were also nominated for Best Actor, Actress, and Supporting Actor. And they also got a very prestigious Kids' Choice Award as the favorite movie. So
do they still do those anymore?
I'm pretty sure those are done, but wasn't it
like the MTV Awards too, or something?
Nickelodeon, I believe. But that seems like a early time to be doing Nickelodeon Awards.
I know.
But who am I? I was just a kid of the 90s. So I'll go ahead and dive into my fun facts here. Being a Roger Rabbit fan, going to Disney is kind of boring to me because it's a lot of kids and tiaras having meltdowns all day. But I did some digging at Hollywood Studios, which is, a little bit more adult themed, not as many rides, but they're good rides. But there are 3 things that still have history to Roger Rabbit in Hollywood Studios. There's a Maroon Studios billboard with Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit, and Baby Herman. It is in the Echo Park area on Hollywood Boulevard above a gift shop. If you look around and turn around, look down Hollywood and Vine, you can see the black silhouette of Roger on the second story window where he jumped to the window. Mm-hmm. And then you also have the sign for Eddie Valiant's
detective
his
agency?
private
Valiant,
eye.
Valiant,
Yeah, private investigator. And then the go-kart, I guess is what we're going to call it, that they actually used to film the scenes where Benny the Cab was in it, is in a restaurant. It is in the Backlot Express area, so it's there where you can see it. Eddie would sit in the front. The cameraman would sit in the back. They'd block him out, and that's how they film the scenes. Pretty cool. Most people walk by that and probably don't ever see it. And then finally, as you are leaving the great movie ride, you'll find Roger's handprints and footprints in concrete.
Did you get your picture taken with him?
I probably did the first time I went as a teenager because I took pictures of everything, but those are all long gone because that was before smartphones. That was back when you had to actually develop film.
The Polaroid.
2001. So I think you're going to dive into this, but the agreement that they had, I'm going to skip that because I'm pretty sure you're going to cover that. So the movie was 104 minutes. 55 minutes of that had toons in it. It was all animated in those 55 minutes. Animation for this film would cost between $250,000 and $300,000 a minute. That's a lot of money. No wonder why they went over budget.
Oh, yeah.
And they took 14 months post-production to do a lot of this. So 82,080 frames of animation were used. When production went over their original budget of $40 million, they just about scrapped the movie. But there was an executive that really wanted to push because Steven Spielberg was directing it. So they decided they were going to take his advice, keep going, and then the movie was released almost double over their budget. But $40 million and you're going to scrap it? That's crazy. That's a lot.
What a waste.
Then we take that money into inflation. You know what I mean? That's, what, $100 million and some change?
Well, it's like
you throw away.
That movie, what was it, Batgirl or whatever that HBO did or whatever, and they just scrapped the whole thing and never even released it. Why? Yeah. Why would you do something like that? You know what I mean? And
I know you don't get into TV, which you need to get into TV shows, but the show Southland was fantastic. Most expensive show to produce because they filmed it in LA on the streets, and they had a real cliffhanger moment. To be continued.
It's still waiting.
And canceled like 4 days after it was the season wrapped.
Hey, back when I was a kid, there was a show called John Doe on TV, and it was a guy that woke up with amnesia. One season, dude, I was hooked. Never renewed, and I was like, he woke up with amnesia, but he could tell you like how many dimples are on a golf ball and all that. It was really cool.
Yeah, you know. My Name is Earl gets canceled to be continued. I can live with that, even though I watched the whole thing and got left. He's just still doing what he does. But, you got to keep going. You can't stop. You got to put it on a good note. I'll pass it over to you now.
Oh, are you done?
I think I'm done. I think I covered a decent amount.
Well, good, because during my trivia, I want you to chime in whenever you feel like chiming in, okay?
I'll try.
Since this is your movie. So good old Bob Hoskins, he had to do a lot of his acting in front of a green screen because obviously a lot of this was...
Blue screen.
Right. Only visualizing the cartoon characters that were added later. In a 1988 interview for Danish television, he said, quote, "I had to learn to hallucinate to do it. After doing it for 6 months, for 16 hours a day, I lost control of it and sort of had weasels and rabbits popping out of the wall at me." Hoskins didn't take another job for over a year.
Yeah, it definitely messed with his mental psyche in reality. So that's, probably a lot of sleep deprivation too.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
You're trying to beat yourself up every night. Like, did I do this right? You're a method actor, but there's nothing really there to act with. You have to improvise, and I guess that's the good thing is if they're making it afterwards, when they're putting those cells in, they can kind of adjust it. But
it'd be hard to do.
It's so the intricacies of the cells, which I don't know if you're going to get into, is
we got some stuff about the cells.
Is what made the movie.
So some scenes in the taxi actually contain an animated Eddie Valiant instead of a live-action footage of Bob Hoskins, too. So that's very interesting, too. Here we go. Jessica Rabbit's speaking voice was performed by Kathleen Turner, as Dustin had said, but her singing voice was performed by Amy Irving. Only Irving was credited. Robert Zemeckis previously directed Turner in Romancing the Stone. You ever seen Romancing the Stone?
I have not.
Gotta get you.
I'm not very cultured, this is the kind of stuff I watch. You're like, what movie do you want to talk about? It's like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Beavis and Butthead Do Christmas. That was a good one. Maybe the holidays we can do that, along with A Muppet's Christmas Carol.
One of the greatest.
The best Christmas movie out there.
During filming, Charles Flesher delivered Roger Rabbit's lines off camera in full Roger costume, including rabbit ears, yellow gloves, and orange coveralls. During breaks when he was in costume, other staff at the studios would see him and make comments about the poor caliber of the effects in the Rabbit movie. Can you imagine saying, oh man, this movie's going to be terrible?
Yeah, just Eddie Murphy. This movie's not going to be good, and then it skyrocketed.
Judge Doom picks up a record and reads its label, The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down. Then he says, quite a loony selection for a bunch of drunken reprobates. The song The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down is the familiar theme song for the Looney Tunes cartoons. Okay. So one of those little sly things.
One of those little
jabs they threw in there. A prequel with the working title Toon Platoon was considered, where Roger and several fellow Toons are drafted into the army during World War II. Since Toons cannot be killed by conventional weapons, and go on a mission in Nazi Germany to save Roger's fiancée, Jessica, whose maiden name was revealed in the script as Krupnik. The project never got out of the developmental stage, though, reportedly because producer Steven Spielberg was uncomfortable satirizing Nazis after making Schindler's List.
I could see that, because that was a pretty.
But I'd still like to watch the movie. That sounds pretty good.
Enough times passed, we could do it. You wouldn't have to have the whole cast.
Although the film's title is in question, no question mark appears in the title because that is considered bad luck in the industry.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Several voice actors make cameos as the voice of their characters they have played before. These are Tony Alsamo, who was Donald Duck, Wayne Allwine, who Mickey Mouse, and of course the legendary Mel Blanc, who did Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Sylvester, and Tweety Bird. But most notably is Mae Questel as Betty Boop. Mae did Betty's voice from 1930 until the character was retired in 1939. Mae Questel then became Popeye the Sailor's girlfriend, Olive Oyl.
Olive Oyl.
And I do believe, if my memory serves me, now I'm a little bit older, but I also believe she's that lady in Christmas Vacation. The old lady...
The old grandma?
Yeah, you probably never seen Christmas Vacation.
I have. I'm just trying to
I can't think of her name. The one where the guy
strapped her on the roof.
No, that's regular Vacation. I'm talking about Christmas Vacation. You know where the guy does the cat lights the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's his wife.
Okay, wrong person, but yeah,
wrong movie,
but thinking of like the right person.
Hey, you're doing fine. During production, one of the biggest challenges faced by the makers of this film was how to get the cartoon characters to realistically interact with real on-set props. This was ultimately accomplished in two different ways. Certain props, such as Baby Herman's cigar or the plates Roger smashes over his head, were moved on set via motion control machines hooked up to an operator who would move the objects in exactly the desired manner. Then, in post-production, the character was simply drawn over the machine. The other way of doing it was by using puppeteers. This is most clearly seen in the scene in the Ink and Paint Club. The glasses held by the octopus bartender were in fact being controlled by puppeteers from above, while the trays carried by the penguin waiters were on sticks being controlled from below. The wires and the sticks were simply removed in post-productions and the characters added in.
And I don't know if it was that scene too, but they made the set 6 feet off the ground for the puppeteers.
Probably.
So they had to work underneath it. Just another one of those things that's just kind of fascinating if you dive into the weeds on it.
Yeah. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner also appear silhouetted on the elevator door as it goes up, which is another one. Also, Felix the Cat's face appears as the mask of tragedy and comedy on the keystone of the entrance to Toontown. In fact, Felix was originally going to appear in the film, but sadly the filmmakers could not borrow the rights for him in time. You know, I'm going to pause there for a second. You know, why can't they just give the people what they want?
Well, even if you can't come to an agreement,
just use it, and then it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Like I said, if you don't get a cease and desist, then you're not doing it right. But if you're going to cross promote, it's going to give everybody exposure, and there's not really a bad thing. Like Betty Boop, did that maybe?
Well, we'll see.
Create a little bit more interest in that character.
We'll see what happens with Disney here in a minute. with the gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, they're kind of greedy.
Yeah. So Disney's animated series Bonkers, do you remember Bonkers, about the police bobcat? Is believed to be made to have been created by Disney because co-owner of all the characters created for this movie refused to allow Disney to produce a television series incorporating characters from this film. So at the time, Amblin was working on the animated series Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs. However, several people who worked on Bonkers have denied that this is the case, such as Greg Weisman, who was involved in the show's development early on. This movie is the first and only as of 2024 time cartoon characters from Disney and Looney Tunes have appeared together on screen. Since the movie was being made by Disney, they would only allow the use of their biggest cartoon stars, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, if they got as much screen time as Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. For that reason, they were always in pairs, such as the piano battle between Daffy and Donald and the parachute scene with Bugs and Mickey. This was continued with Porky Pig and Tinkerbell at the ending, too. So, I mean,
it's Disney. They gotta get their stuff in.
Right. Here we go. To create the animation, over 85,000 hand-inked and painted cells were created and composited with the live-action backdrops, live-action characters, and hand-animated tone mats for shading, and cast shadows using optical film printers. No computer animation was used in creating the animations. Some scenes involved up to 100 individual film elements. Any live action that had to be later composited was shot in VistaVision to take advantage of the double area frame of the horizontal 35mm format. The finished film thus does not suffer from the increased grain that plagued previous live action and animation combos such as Mary Poppins. All right, here we go. I want you to say yes or no if you can see him playing it. These are for the roles of Eddie.
Okay.
Leslie Nielsen.
Probably not.
Harrison Ford.
I could see Harrison Ford being a drunk and being okay.
Sylvester Stallone.
No, screw him.
Robert Redford.
I'm not sure. That's a little bit before my time.
Jack Nicholson.
Yes. Yeah, that would probably be the second best.
Ed Harris.
I'm trying to think Ed Harris.
Martin Short.
Maybe.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray would be fantastic.
Eddie Murphy, what you talk about? Charles Grodin.
I have to do some looking on that one.
He doesn't know a lot of actors.
This movie came
Chevy
out.
Chase. Do you know Chevy Chase?
Chevy Chase? I don't know if it'd be my first choice. But
Danny DeVito?
Oh, man.
Yes.
Get kind of a penguin / Eddie Valiant crossbreed. That would be fantastic.
Billy Crystal?
I'm not sure.
Steve Martin?
Steve Martin could probably do it.
Kurt Russell?
Not the way I probably want to go.
John Travolta?
No.
Tom Hanks?
I don't know. He could. Tom Hanks could do about it.
Mickey Rourke?
No. I don't think
You know, I'd love to see it. I don't even know if he's on this list, but no, man, what's his name? Gary Busey.
I was thinking like Gary Busey or there was another kind of nut job I was thinking of.
Richard Gere.
How about Johnny Depp? He can play anybody. I know he's such a
What
favorite.
about Robin Williams?
He had, around that time,
I think he would have been good.
you know, Good Morning Vietnam around that time, so that was kind of a funnier, looser character.
Well, he was filming Hook at this time,
and
too.
he was filming Hook, and that kind of...
What about Michael Keaton? I think, yeah, he
that's
played
Batman.
Yeah, but
He could maybe play Judge Doom.
Batman was a detective.
Judge Doom. That'd be Michael Keaton.
Dudley Moore. How about Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean himself? It would have been funny. It just don't have him talking.
And only
don't have him
UK
talk at all.
version.
Yeah, he doesn't talk at all. Michael Bean? No, I don't think so.
Nah.
Gene Hackman? Maybe. Joe Pesci? There would have been a lot of F-bomb drops.
Joe Pesci could be a good one, but yeah, it definitely would have been a adult-only movie.
And Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. He'd be more of R.K. Maroon.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Would you like
greasy-
to see this film remade?
No.
With newer tunes?
No, it's where it needs to be, I think.
With an estimated production budget of $70 million, This was the most expensive film produced in the 1980s and had the longest on-screen credits for a film.
Yeah, it was, gosh, I'd hate to count. I was going to count the number of people associated with it.
It was too long. It was like 8 minutes, and I was like, I'm not...
The second column of names, I was like, it's a lot, I'm good. Yeah. We'll just call it 200 or 300.
About 2,000 or 3,000, probably.
That's probably an understatement.
The gag of the toon pelican falling off his bicycle. Remember when Eddie walks out and the toon's got the fish in his mouth and he's riding the bike and it falls over?
Yeah.
It came about by an accident. Originally, the pelican would have ridden straight past the camera, but the effects technicians were unable to keep the bike upright. The filmmaker decided to let the bicycle fall and animate the pelican losing his balance, so save some money there. To give Jessica's ample bosom an unusual bounce...
They bounced.
her supervisor and animator, Russell Hall, reversed the natural up and down movements of her breast as she walked. They bounce up when a real woman's breast bounced down, and vice versa.
So that's where they get you. They bounce
up. Richard Williams fell in love with the character of adult baby Herman and insisted on animating practically every frame of the character himself. So. The bottle of chili sauce falling in the opening cartoon had to be reanimated several times as British animators used the UK spelling chili, Chilli, instead of Chili. When Eddie takes Roger Rabbit into the back room at the bar where Dolores works to cut apart the handcuffs, the lamp on the ceiling is bumped and swinging. Lots of extra work was needed to make the shadows match between the actual room shots and the animation. Today, bump the lamp is a term used by many Disney employees to refer to going that extra mile on an effect just to make it a little more special, even though most audience members will never notice it.
Nope. And that's one of the things I really want to stress is if you watch the movie, watch the shading. That's how they made two-dimensional look three-dimensional. And it took a ton of work, 2-3 times the amount of effort to have the shading in the right position every time they changed it.
And the shadows. I got to know here about the shadows.
The shadows and then the light. I believe it's that scene that you'll look at it and you'll see his ear up to the light and you'll see it kind of shining through the light. And it's just that's the extra touch to give it as much realism as you can get.
Judge Doom was originally going to have an animated pet vulture named Voltar that sat on his shoulder, but that idea was dropped in the interest of saving time. However, the vulture later resurfaced with Judge Doom with a bendable action figure was produced.
That would be kind of cool if you make a toon,
If it was, it should have been just a little vulture. It should have been that real big buzzard from Bugs Bunny or sit on his shoulder. Just something over the top. Oh, spoiler alert. Judge Doom is a toon.
Oh, man.
I know. But I got to cover it here because there's stuff in the notes later on that's going to spoil it anyway. So, spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you've not watched the...
Stop now and go watch it.
A 36-year-old movie, then you need to be lied to.
There were over 40 drafts of the script, including drafts that had either Jessica Rabbit or Baby Herman as the villain. I would have loved to see Baby Herman as the villain, dude.
Voiced by Danny DeVito. So, there we go, another tie-in.
Sir Christopher Lee, you know who that is?
Can't say I do.
Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Never watched any Lord of the Rings movie.
Then I can't. He was Dracula in the Hammer films. Maybe ringing a bell.
Possibly.
Never mind. He turned down the role of Judge Doom. Lee has said this same first name as Christopher Lloyd, who took over. The movie's line, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way," was voted as the number 83 of the 100 greatest movie lines by Premiere in 2007.
Wow.
The first test audience was mostly 18 and 19-year-olds who hated it. After almost the entire audience walked out of the screening, Robert Zemeckis, who had final cut, said he wasn't changing a thing.
Stand by your guns.
The full-size rubber models of Roger Rabbit were used as stand-ins so that the human actors and actresses could get a feeling for the size and shape of their imaginary co-star. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to own one of those, though. Just the full-size rubber thing that was a stand-in movie prop.
If we can't get the prop, if any of the listeners here have any cells from this movie, you can email Jimbo at tragedycinemapodcast@gmail.com, I'm guessing.
Look at this guy. This guy has done his research.
I will be more than happy to take that and hang it on my wall.
And he will also pay a pretty hefty price, is what he told me.
That's negative. Donations, please. Donations.
Bob Hoskins said that for 2 weeks after seeing this movie, his young son wouldn't talk to him. When finally he asked why, his son said he couldn't believe his father would work with cartoon characters such as Bugs Bunny and not let him meet them. It'd be so bad. You know who? Darkwing Duck should have been in this.
That'd have been good.
But I don't think he was around yet. I think he was more of a 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, but we're so close. Man. So close to the 90s.
The case where Valiant keeps his cartoon gun is inscribed, "Thanks for getting me out of the Hooskow, Yosemite Sam." Eddie Valiant's initial 30-second stroll through Maroon Cartoon Studios was so complex, involving over 180 individual elements, that when it was assembled with the film pieces, it created stacks 8 feet in height. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and it's just the detail of everything, you know, Roger running down the steps, knocking over the bot, just everything has to be
remember
timed
when
so good.
Remember when they did the old, had the photos and they're going real fast, like the old...
Like your notepad that you're flipping.
Yeah. On the special edition DVD, which Dustin said he had, but somebody stole it, that they didn't bring back to him, and he wants it back, whoever you are.
No names, but I know who's got it.
Well, then we want it back, no name. Robert Zemeckis recounts that he had stated in a newspaper interview that Bill Murray was his and executive producer Steven Spielberg's original choice for the role of Eddie Valiant, but neither could get in contact with him in time. Murray, in turn, has stated that when he read the interview, he was in a public place, but he still screamed his lungs out because he would have definitely accepted the role.
Maybe.
Can you? What do you mean you didn't have time?
Can we CGI Bill Murray to look like he was in 1988?
Just put it over Eddie's face.
They did, like I said, they did it to Back to the Future. Can we do it with Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I take my previous statement back. Let's redo it.
Lena Hyena, the hideous, ugly toon whom Eddie mistakes for Jessica Rabbit in Toontown, is based on the creation of the same name by artist Basil Wolverton. She was first conceived in 1946 for a contest by Al Cap to depict the world's ugliest woman to be featured in his Little Abner comic strip.
A man!
The dip that kills the toons is made of turpentine, acetone, and benzene, paint thinners used to remove images from cells. So that's pretty cool. 326 animators worked full-time on the film. In a total, 82,080 frames of animation were drawn, including storyboards and concept art. Animation director Richard Williams estimates that well over 1 million drawings were done for the movie.
It's crazy.
1 million drawings, dude.
Yeah, I'll take one of those. I seen some stuff on eBay, but I don't know if
Oh, really? Are they authentic?
I don't know if they're authentic or copies. I kind of dove down a rabbit hole on eBay last night, so...
ADD kicking in again.
ADD kicks in again, and the wife would probably get mad, so I had to, not hit the buy button.
Hey, what happens on the Tragedy of Cinema stays on the Tragedy of Cinema. Yeah. She'll never know.
She don't listen to me at home, so she's not going to listen to me on her phone.
No, she'll be like, oh, I'm going to listen to this episode. Hi, Juanita.
So, if you ever need somebody for like Lord of the Rings or Mario, she's probably your girl if you can get her to talk. She's too quiet, but she gets nerded out on that stuff.
We nerds, we unite. Every frame of the movie that featured a mixture of animation and live action had to be printed up as a still photograph. An animator would then draw the particular illustration for that frame on tracing paper set on top of the photo. The outline drawing that had to be hand-colored. Once that was done, the drawing had to be composited back into the original frame using an optical printer. That just sounds like a lot of work.
Like I said, they didn't do it the easy way.
No.
They talk about that in the special features is cut corners. No, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it this way so we can get it exactly the way that we want it and look this way.
John Cleese. Do you know who John Cleese is? It's Dustin. We got to educate you. He played in Monty Python.
Okay, I know Monty Python is.
He expressed interest in playing Judge Doom, but Spielberg and Zemeckis refused, thinking nobody would take a former member of Monty Python seriously as a sadistic villain. However, Steven Spielberg was still so impressed by his audition, and he gave Cleese the role of the villainous cat, R. Wall, in An American Tale, Five Will Goes West. Have you ever seen The American Tale, Five Will Goes West?
Gosh, it's been 30 years ago, probably.
There's a hidden Mickey. Before Eddie begins to juggle, he holds the 3 black bombs in a manner that mimics Mickey Mouse's head. Here you go. Here's somebody else for Judge Doom. Tim Curry. Do you know who Tim Curry is?
Negative.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, It, Pennywise, It, the original.
I don't do scary movies. And
Wow.
I was always supposed to go to a Rocky the Horror Picture Show where you kind of act everything out and throw everything, but it never happened, so...
Well, anyway, they found his performance quite terrifying, even though he didn't get the part.
I could see that.
Here's some more people for Roger Rabbit. Paul Rubens, otherwise known as Pee Wee Herman. Could Pee Wee Herman pull the voice off of Roger Rabbit?
It's so iconic now, but it was
but
so
he was,
big
he
at
wasn't,
the time.
But he, when they originally approached him, we'll talk about here in a little bit, he was not well known, but then Pee Wee's Playhouse had blown up and he just became...
And I'm sure you'd have a little different voice for that than he would.
Eddie Deason and Dom DeLuise. You don't know who that is either, do you?
I know the names, but I can't tell you why.
Kathleen Turner was 9 months pregnant when she recorded the voice of Jessica Rabbit.
Well, at least being pregnant don't change your voice. May change your waistline, but it doesn't change your voice.
Oh, there goes the hormone. Send all your hate mail to Dustin wherever he can be found.
Anderson018@gmail.com. I'll take it.
Which is going to be flooded. The password Walt sent me to enter the Ink and Paint Studio Club refers to Walt Disney. The red car trolley is still sitting in the boneyard at the Florida Disney Studios in 2010. There's a director trademark by Robert Zemeckis with the keyhole where Bob Hoskins looks through the keyhole in the Toontown sequence. Because a lot of his movies he has that. According to Robert Zemeckis, a nameless major brewing company offered to pay him and filmmakers $100,000 to have their names visible on the liquor bottle from which Roger drinks early in the film. Zemeckis reminded them that Roger turns into a steam whistle after taking a shot, but the brewing company replied that they didn't care, apparently figuring that the publicity they would receive would be priceless. Ultimately, this product placement could not be included as the film was being distributed by Disney.
But the bourbon bottle was Wild Turkey. You'll see that in the movie.
When Judge Doom's eyes are visible, he never blinks.
They did change, though. They went kind of, I guess he was seeing red at that point as they were... He didn't blink, but they...
But that's when he became the Toon, not when...
Yeah, I guess. And he had weird teeth. Like, if you watch the teeth, it's just... Maybe that's the hint that he was a Toon because the teeth are odd.
Eddie Murphy revealed on Inside the Actor Studios that he turned down the role of Eddie Valiant because he felt that the film's chances of being successful were quite slim, as Dustin talked about, and there were too many things that could go wrong. He regrets that decision, regarding it as one of the worst mistakes he ever made.
He did okay for himself. He's all right. He did do Norbert, though, and that was, I think, a flop.
How you doing?
How you doing?
That's a bloody movie.
It is a good movie, though. For a flop, it's pretty good.
Go right in the blowhole. Bob Hoskins claimed that Jessica Rabbit was not yet sketched by the animators when filming Wrapped, and he had no idea what the character would look like. Robert Zemeckis told Hoskins to imagine his ideal sexual fantasy. Hoskins claims that his mental image was less risque than what Jessica looked like in the completed film. In the documentary Behind the Ears, the true story of Roger Rabbit. Have you seen that documentary?
Yes, that's one of the ones that you need to watch.
Bob Hoskins refers to Charles Fleischer as completely nuts. Probably because he stood around in costume off camera just for the voice.
Yeah.
Here you go. In the original VHS and Laserdisc release, this is how old we're going back here, folks. When Eddie and Jessica are thrown out of the car, you can see a few short frames that Jessica was not wearing any underwear.
Ooh.
There was nothing to see but flesh-tone paint, but there was a fair amount of talk about it. In the later versions, this was switched to white paint, thereby restoring her underwear. After this, it was changed again with a sense of frames replaced with new ones to completely eliminate this.
If that movie would have been released in 2000, they would have had pictures all over the place leaked of her underwear.
The original VHS and Laserdisc also featured a very brief single frame of Betty Boop's dress slipping down and exposing her breast, which Robert Zemeckis had insisted on including as a tribute to the classic Betty Boop cartoons where the animators would slip in the occasional single lewd frame. And this was also cut out for future releases. One frame of Jessica's breast being exposed during the booby trap gag was animated but never made it out of any version of the film.
See, you make a cartoon and Hollywood's still perverted.
Yeah. Look at the Little Mermaid and all that stuff, dude. You know what I mean? It's just, what is going on there?
Don't sue us, Disney.
Oh, yeah. Bill Murray and Robin Williams were both considered to play Valiant before Hoskins got the role. Hoskins collaborated with Murray in Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, and Williams in Hook. This and Daffy Duck's Quackbusters were the last appearance by Mel Blanc as he died a year after this film's release. One of the greatest voice talents of all time. This is included on the 1001 movies must see before you die, although Dustin probably ranks up in the top 10 you must see before you die.
I don't know if it'd be the top 10, but it's definitely in the top 50 or 60.
All right, here's some more people for the role of Judge Doom. We already talked about Christopher Lee, who you didn't know. What about James Earl Jones?
You have to give me what he played. Come on. I'm horrible with names.
The voice of Darth Vader?
Only if he looked like Darth Vader without the mask.
Roddy McDowell. You don't know who that is.
You gotta give me movies.
Planet of the Apes?
Sci-fi. I don't get a lot of sci-fi movies.
John Voight? What? F. Murray Abram. You don't know who that is either, do you? He would have been good. Arnold Schwarzenegger. There you go.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Toonies.
Yeah, Toonies.
James Woods, Tim Curry, and rock star Sting.
I'm trying to picture Sting's face because I think of the wrestler, not the actor. So
See, put him in the Scorpion Deathlock.
Drink the dip.
Surprisingly, very little merchandise was made from this film, or for this film. Only a few small plastic figures of Roger, the Weasels, and Baby Herman were made, able to be purchased from selected video rental stores at the time of the movie's release on home video. Stuffed animals of Roger and Benny were also available, as were clothing and accessories.
Yeah, definitely missed the big movie. I'm assuming licensing was huge back then.
Probably because Disney and what was it, Warner Brothers and all them all.
You'd have to get into whole other contracts.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars stuff was huge. Anything that you could make like that crossover would have been absolutely ginormous.
Oh yeah. This film was where April Winchell did her first voice, performing the roles of Mrs. Herman. And the movie version of Baby Herman in the cartoon shot at the beginning, or short at the beginning of the film, she is the daughter of Tigger's original voice actor, Paul Winchell.
Nice.
Pretty cool. One of the scripts called for Eddie to become a toon for the Toontown sequence. The scene was produced but not used, causing the animators given the scene to waste a reported 7 weeks of work. But they still got paid. That would have been cool to see him as a toon.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd compared his role as Judge Doom to his previous role as Klingon Commander Krug in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. For both being overly evil characters he considered fun to play. Lloyd avoided blinking on camera to perfectly portray the character. One of the two films released in 1988 in which the main villain is run over with a steamroller and survives. The other is what?
No idea.
We just covered it on the podcast. I think it comes out tomorrow, as a matter of fact. A Fish Called Wanda.
That's already out, I'm pretty sure.
Or is it? I don't think
Let
it
me
is.
get my phone up here. I know I shouldn't be
I think I
playing on my phone, but I feel like...
Oh, wait, maybe it is.
I feel like that was on the list, because I was diving in to try to be as prepared as I could be for this. A Fish Called Wanda was episode 200.
Is there something after that? Yeah, 201 was one.
Tragedy Awards and then My Blue Heaven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's already out.
200th episode, and you can't remember the name of it.
But you got to remember, that's almost like 400 total episodes.
So we're going to put a question mark at the end of this episode.
Whoa, you know what those question marks mean?
Well, I mean, it's
bad luck.
I tried to drive a race car, and they said, green's bad luck. So what do? I put a green wrap on it. Didn't turn out very good, but why not?
There is some graffiti in the Toontown bathroom called, says, for a good time, call Alice in Wonderland. The best is yet to be. Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
ALLYSON. Wonderland. Pretty funny. The singing sword character is representative of old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra, where he pulls out the sword. The live action shoot took 5 months. Producer Steven Spielberg was able to convince Warner Brothers Studios to let Robert Zemeckis include several of their Looney Tunes characters within this film. A Disney production agreed, providing certain quality control and screen time conditions were met, and that their characters were treated with respect by the animators. Several years later, here we go. We were in the pre-production planning stages of the live-action animated crossover movie Space Jam, and asked Disney if they would return the favor and let them include a major Disney character appear at the final game of the movie as a special guest. Disney by then under a new management regime, flatly refused. This resulted in angrily accusing Disney of breaking an almost decade-old gentleman's agreement and saying they will never cooperate with Disney again.
You could have had Mickey Mouse as like the referee. It'd have been fine.
Or Goofy.
Yeah, Goofy, if you miss a call,
Yeah.
if you're Goofy, they're not going to be too mad.
As a result, and despite initial threats of legal action, the film had several barbed jokes written into the script that are pitched directly at Disney.
Got to.
But again, greed, dude. It's just give the people what they want.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not going to hurt. You get put into the movie, and I'm sure whatever words your character would say, you could edit in, not have to pay anybody, and you get free exposure. It's no publicity's bad publicity when it comes to this.
A baby Herman walks under a woman's dress as she screams and jumps. If you watch it frame by frame, he extends his middle finger before going under the dress and emerges with drool on his upper lip. Jeez. Who's going to take the time to watch this frame by frame and pick out stuff like that?
Like I said,
Dustin.
If somebody gave you the timestamp when you could see the lack of Jessica Rabbit's underwear, they're going to go back and
look it up,
pause it, and go on slow-mo and find it.
When Valiant first enters his office, he puts his hat on a blackbird statue, an obvious reference to the book and the movie The Maltese Falcon. Have you ever watched The Maltese? Never mind.
Negative.
It is a big detective movie. The character of Baby Herman is directly inspired by a scene in the film Gold Diggers of 1933. During the Gold Diggers, quote, episode Petting in the Park, number at 3652. So there's your stamp. A baby in a carriage pulls out a pea shooter and shoots at a park patron. The baby was played by 9-year-old Billy Barty, whose career would span 73 years and over 200 films and TV shows. This is the second movie Bob Hoskins was in that was live action and animated. Do you happen to know the first?
There was a lot of movies that I should have known when I was looking through the list, but I'm spacing it right now.
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
I was looking into that, but I don't think his role was real big, was it?
I don't know.
I'd seen the movie, and I was way too young to watch the movie. So
there was a small controversy due to some people mishearing Donald Duck's banter with Daffy, as some believe he had called the Black Duck a racial slur in the dueling piano scene. The subtitle makes it clear Donald did not say it. But are the subtitles right? In 2016, it was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. Oh, man, here we go. Eddie is able to save Roger and Jessica by acting like a clown for the Weasels. Near the start of the movie, the camera moves past a photo in Eddie's office of him and his brother performing as clowns in their youth, explaining how they learned to do that. I think it was Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus shows them.
Probably.
No, I watched it. It's there.
I have to. Like I said, I got to pay a little bit more attention to the background.
Jeez. Okay, here's for the role of role of Lieutenant Santino, Michael J. Fox. Yes or no?
Yeah, why not? I'm trying to think, but it's
R.K. Maroon, Phil Hartman.
I don't know. Bringing a bell on Phil Hartman, so.
We got to get this guy. Linda Larkin for Jessica Rabbit. You're not going to know who that is.
You're going, but
Burt Reynolds is Benny the Cab. You know Burt Reynolds?
Benny, I could see Benny would be a good Burt Reynolds.
How about for Marvin Acme? John Candy.
Yeah.
Anything with John Candy in it.
Especially if you put him in those plaid pants.
Jack Nicholson was offered the role of Eddie Valiant, but declined as he still expected to play Jake Giddy's Twice More, which was from Chinatown. Did you ever see Chinatown?
No. To be on a movie podcast, I'm pretty movie dumb.
Well, this whole movie is pretty much pays homage to Chinatown.
Yeah.
When development started in the early 80s, the original animation director Darrell Van Siders had chosen a then unknown Paul Rubens to voice Roger Rabbit, which is Pee Wee Herman, as we know. But by the time the production began, Van Siders was no longer involved in Rubens' Pee Wee Herman character had become an icon and a household name. As you can tell, we both have the talking.
I've got some Pee Wee Herman stuff. Yeah. Probably got it on discount after he got caught in the movie theater, but I still have it.
You still have it, though. Bob Hoskins was originally contracted to play the notorious mobster Al Capone in The Untouchables.
That would be, I think he'd fit that role pretty
However, De Palma really wanted Robert De Niro for the role. Once he was able to get De Niro, Paramount Pictures released Hoskins from his contract, but they still paid him his full salary, prompting Hoskins to quip, "You got any more of those films you don't want me to do?" Subsequently being freed from the making of The Untouchables allowed Hoskins to be cast as Eddie Valiant. So he got a payday for that. That's pretty cool.
He'd have been a good, he's got that round face that would have worked really good on Al Capone.
Craig T. Nelson was considered for the role of Eddie Valiant. Do you know Craig T. Nelson? Coach. Did you ever watch Coach?
No, a little bit before my time.
John Ratzenberger was considered for the role of Benny the Cab or Marvin Acme. No? Cheers? No? Okay.
Yeah, Cheers was...
Dennis Farina. Know him? Okay, we'll just keep going on. Martin Mull.
I was born in 86.
Martin Mull was considered for the role of Marvin Acme. Martin Mull, ring a bell? Mr. Mom, played Colonel Mustard in Clue. No? Okay, moving on. Jessica Rabbit is compared with Holly Wood from another show like this called Cool World. Have you ever seen Cool World?
I'm going to lie and say yes.
Okay, yeah, you didn't.
You're doing this just to make me look bad.
No, that's what I have highlighted. Because I thought surely he would watch, if he likes this movie, he would watch that.
I like what I like, and I go down those rabbit holes and don't go down.
When the Toon train hits the dip machine, each window shows a murder or death taking place if viewed frame by frame.
I have to go back and look.
In one of the early versions of the script, Judge Doom was revealed to be one who killed Bambi's mother.
Judge Doom killed Bambi's mother. What a piece of crap.
Wouldn't that have been a great tie-in if Disney would probably have let him?
Let me guess, he killed Old Yeller too?
Maybe. Probably also crashed the ship of Tarzan's parents.
Who's the dinosaur that died in Land Before Time?
Oh, man, don't. Littlefoot or Petrie or what?
Better not have been him in that, or I'm going to just...
yeah, it's game over.
Go home and start crying.
Robert Zemeckis keeps the stop-motion model of the flattened Judge Doom in his office.
That was pretty cool.
Christopher Lloyd figured that Doom was a toon when he read the introduction of his character in the script, and it was stated that Doom never blinks. And last but not least, there are numerous clues to the fact that Judge Doom is a toon, if you pay attention. Are you ready?
Yep.
Number one, despite Dip being harmless to live-action humans, Doom always wears gloves when demonstrating it.
Thick rubber gloves.
Number two, his waxy skin, fake Adam's apple, and oversized teeth, as Dustin pointed out. Number three, his cloak is always blowing with a slight breeze, even when indoors, a common cartoon villain staple. Number four, his stiff, exaggerated movements resemble that of a toon. 5, getting around quickly in a toony sort of way. 6, wearing his clothes well with no exposed skin showing around his body. 7, the fact that he jumped out of the way when the dip was tipped over when Roger Rabbit had a drink and went ballistic. Remember, he jumps out of the way?
I always like the way he moves because it is odd.
It's really weird when he gets steamrolled.
He gets steamrolled. He's trying to
the bendable
swaying back and forth, and then when he's on the, I'm not gonna say marbles, but whatever the balls were,
like the ping pong balls or whatever.
And he's and he runs away. It's all odd motion for a human.
And he was not in any pain after being shot by the gun Jessica had in Toontown, being able to get away easily unharmed. So, Justin, give us your thoughts and feelings on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and what are you going to rate this out of a 1 to 10?
So, this is kind of like scoring pizza. A 10 out of 10 is you'll never find nothing better. I'm going to say it's a strong 9.25.
Repeating?
yeah, it's definitely an infinity on that 5. It's I don't know, it was ahead of its time, but it wasn't. Ahead of its time, but it was also done a way that was way outdated. But it was done so good. Storyline, kids can kind of not hate it watching it with their parents and not get all the jokes. But as a teenager, adult, it keeps you intrigued because there's a lot of plot twists. They just didn't let certain things brew long enough, in my opinion. But a fantastic, movie. You get Jessica Rabbit. You think she, kills R.K. Maroon, and then 30 seconds later you find out who it was, and let that brew a little bit longer. But it's an animated movie, and it's extremely expensive, so I get why.
Well, they did play it a little bit when she's leaving Eddie Valiant's office. Remember, you see her in the back of her
but it's like the next scene, though. Right. You already know that it's not her.
What? If you were trying to if you were trying to get somebody to watch this, so you could only show them one scene, to say, hey, you need to watch this movie, what scene are you going to show them?
That's when Jessica Rabbit, kind of goes to hug Eddie Valiant. And you see her boobs kind of like boom up.
Hit him in the head.
You just show them that, and they're like, okay, I kind of can get behind this. There's a lot. I always love Benny the Cab.
I think he's great in this.
Anything with Benny the Cab, especially when he hops in the driver's seat with Roger.
Yeah, because
he enough driving today.
Well, I like when he's like walking too, because the dip was spilled, and he's like walking on his flat tires, like and then he gets in the driver's seat, turns on the headlights on his eyeballs.
Yeah, it's just there's so many small quirky things. Throwing Yosemite Sam over the wall on fire. My biscuits are burning. It's just there's so many that you can pick any scene. And I think they're going to want to watch it.
Yeah, it's such a great movie, seeing a lot of the cartoons that you grew up with and loved over the years come together. And I think that's what's lost today. Like, everybody loves seeing the Avengers come together, but will we ever be able to see the Avengers and the Justice League together?
We did see the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
Right, so. but those were both Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you take Marvel and DC and do a versus or something, you know what I mean, like Wonder Woman versus Thor. There was a comic book like Wonder Woman versus Thor, Lobo versus Wolverine, Batman versus I forget who, Captain America versus Spider-Man, or Flash or somebody. Will we ever see that, or will greed play too much into it not to get the fans what they want? Because the rich just want to get richer, let's face it.
Yeah, you don't want to give a cut to somebody else, but at some point you're going to get to...
Do with the fan service.
Everything has been done. You're going to have to try to find a crossover. It may only be one or two, but it would probably be, for people who are really into one side or the other, would probably really push that needle when it comes to buying a ticket.
Right. So for me, just for the old nostalgia factor, I'm going to give it an 8.5. It's not an Academy Award winner by any means, but it is a movie that you can turn on and basically turn your mind off and just enjoy.
Yeah, and that's what for me what movies are is there's some movies you watch that you really got to pay attention, but you want to escape reality. If you get a phone call or you have to check your phone for an email or something for work or whatever you're doing,
you got to be that next level of Candy Crush.
Yeah, you can still listen and not fall behind in the plot.
But I think that's the problem with this movie. You need to pay attention. You need to watch it instead of listen, because there's a lot of stuff that's in the background of this movie you will miss if you're not paying attention. Even like when I watched it again last night, there's stuff that I missed the first umpteen times I've watched it, and I still find it funny and I laugh to this day. So,
and that's the mark of a good movie. There's so much detail. You find something different every time you watch it.
Right. Well, Dustin, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
I think you did an outstanding job. I think if you'd like to reach out to us, we are thetragedycinema@gmail.com. If you want to join us on the Facebook group, Dustin's in there too, the Tragedy Cinema Podcast group on Facebook. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll have Dustin on again in the future at some point.
Yeah, if you want to have obscure movies like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Walk the Line, Nightmare Before Christmas, any cult classic, Super Troopers, I am down to come back.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I was thinking maybe Sharknado 3.
Well, with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap. And cut.
The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema.